One of the many things I want to say I've done this year is get out of my comfort zone. And what better way of doing that than challenging physical activity? And not just any activity, a triathlon. Running, biking, and swimming all in one day. I know I wouldn't have been able to do this without training, so I decided 2 months before the event to lock in and train. Getting out of my comfort zone takes time, with the first step being to just start. Not gonna lie, this was probably one of the hardest parts because there were so many factors and thoughts as to why not to do this. Like, you could have done literally anything else. You could have taken a painting class, a yoga class. You're doing too much, literally anything else. But once the money was extracted from my bank account, there was no going back. Which leads us to step 2, not being afraid to fail. With the little amount of time I had to prep, I knew I had to get over my fear of failing, especially in public. And with the triathlon being entirely public, there's no other way around it. The thought of being perceived makes me nervous sometimes, but at this point I gotta keep it pushing. So off I went to train in public, from running, biking, and going to park ran pools to train swimming. All unique in their own way, and at a certain point I didn't really care that I was in public anymore. With those 2 steps out of the way, there was only one thing left: triathlon day. I could barely sleep the night before because I thought I overslept through my alarm, but we made it. And with the support of my family, girlfriend, and coworker, I was ready to take on the challenge. The first challenge, the 5K run. I've done a couple before, so this was pretty easy. You know, I got the second fastest 5K that I've ever done, which is, I'm proud of that. I also had to conserve energy for the next portion: biking. I honestly thought I had this one easily because I was feeling okay about my training, but little did I know that this was going to be the hardest part of the entire event. 3 laps of 3 miles doesn't sound too bad in my head until I started that first lap. So many thoughts came rushing in of, why am I doing this? I am way in over my head with this. I might end up giving up right now off the first lap, and maybe the semi-flat tires had something to do with that, but I got through it. That biking portion had exhausted me so much that I knew I was about to struggle through this swimming portion. And I did, because I was so exhausted, but I did not give up because I was almost done. 150 meters later, and I finished the swim and the triathlon along with it. So what did I learn through this experience? That triathlons are a form of self-harm? No. I learned that getting out of my comfort zone is a self-led journey. Even doing this whole event was just one way to get out of my comfort zone. It's not always going to be easy, but it will always be worth it.
Right here. Truer words have never been written.